going to be a quick video. I'm just in a hotel right now. I'm in Preston. I doubt you can see, and that's not going to help the camera angles. But I'm in the Premier Plus room, just in a Premier Inn, top floor, 5 floors. Not too big. But anyway, what I want to talk about in this video is it's the end of September, and I've spent about £1,000 on different networking events or traveling, just moving outside of my city to network for this property thing. And again, what I talk about is property, how to do it. A lot of the stuff we talk about is online, but in person is good. So I'm just going to break down the different events I went to. There's one event I wanted to go to, but I missed. So that's a bit of a shame, but it wasn't on my initial schedule. It was a last minute one. So let's break them down. I went to a training event for social housing that was in Peterborough. I went to a supported living event that was in Birmingham. That was the biggest one. That cost me about 400, 500 all in to get to. And then the last one I went to was a training event on how to get started in care homes. I've been to that 3 times. I was a speaker at that one, so I've got a good amount of experience. So the first one was the face value ticket was £200 for the social housing event. If you got the fast discount, it was £100. Obviously, travel costs, it was a whole day, Saturday, 9 to 5. I'll talk about that. The second one, again, Birmingham, whole day, talking about 9 to 5. The membership, you need to be a member of the network to join. That's about £60 a month, the lowest tier. And the ticket value was £300 plus VAT, £360. That's £420 to get to that event. And the third event was about £150. I came with 2 people, so I spent about £300 on that. So 300 plus 420 is 720 plus £100, 820. If I add the petrol, we're gonna go sky high accommodation as well. Anyway, I'm talking really quickly because I'm in Preston. It's just gone 9:07. We're going to go to one of the properties, and this is one of the property deals that closed last month. So there's a lot going on in terms of properties, deal sourcing, care, support living. It's a very exciting industry right now. But let me talk about my lessons and whether it's worth investing, because not everybody can just pony up £1,000 just to go to events. Bearing in mind, I've met people, I've connected, but I can say I haven't met anything right now this next 30, 60 days, which is I think going to put money in my pocket, but I don't regret going. It's a long-term investment into my network, the fact I'm in the rooms and investing. So let's say you don't have £1,000 right now to spend on networking events or training events. What's the value I got of this? Now, again, with all these rooms, the most important thing is who's inside. Now, big up to the presenters, big up to their presentations, amazing, a lot of gems, a lot of knowledge. But what the great thing about events is the people that come inside. Because again, the middle one, most importantly, £420. I know some people got in a bit cheaper, but we're still talking about £300. We're talking about £300, £400 on a one-day event. Of course, you've got the membership access on the back end, but we're talking £300, £200 to get into an event. That's a lot of money, full stop. Just to spend one day an event, £300, £200. We're talking about a premium event. This room I'm in didn't cost £300 for a night, you know, so to get in, and that room was full. Just to let you know, there was 100 people in that room. It was full. It was the biggest event of all the ones I went to. So that just shows. So again, the most important thing is who is in a position to invest that money on a one-day event. They're clearly doing well. They're clearly serious. They're not tire kickers. When you're doing £1 events, free property training events, free networking events, of course, there's going to be people of value that go to these events. I go to these events. I meet people of value. Great. But that's not going to be the majority. The majority is going to be the 80%, which are beginners trying to get in. The minority is going to be the 20% professionals who've just come around because it's on their calendar days. So again, in the support living event, I met providers, people who do support living, of course. I met property investors, of course. Very interesting. Now, the first event was a social housing event. This was more geared towards landlords. Now, I like going to a lot of events because, again, I didn't come into property in a traditional way. My mum was into property and I followed her footsteps. I learned while doing it. And I went, and then eventually when I was really making money, I went to events to see what they're going. But personally, I wouldn't say I learned a lot from going to events just because of my embedded knowledge of being in the industry. Again, 10 years is a long time to meet people, speak people, share, go events. I know a lot of things that are going to be in £3 or £100 level knowledge. You know, if we're talking about knowledge I didn't know, it's going to be highly specialized, or it's going to be a high ticket program is what I'm expecting naturally. So social housing event was good. I'm already a social housing provider, multiple accredited. So again, in the room, I'm quite far in advance. They're trying to teach landlords how to work with providers. That was the essence of the presentation. So landlords who are typically doing buy-to-lets, renting to tenants with the Renters Reform Bill. Of course, you've seen me on the news talking about the Renters Reform Bill, something I'm aware of. I've inspired live television. I was speaking about it. It's something I'm aware of. It's been going on for a couple of years. So they're trying to use this to tell landlords to transition and build for supported living people, which is great, very good. This is a very nice segue into the actual Birmingham event. Now, this was, again, it was on a Friday, so, you know, there's a lot of prayer, so I had to go in and out of the room, so I didn't get the full value of it, but that is where it is. There was a lot on the NHS were there, someone from represented from the NHS. There was a property investor who develops specifically for support living people. We're talking about, apparently he's got about 100 million in funding, so he's perfect. His whole strategy is to find properties, build them, develop them, specifically for these high level care people who need specific kind of targeting. Boy, phone call, I need to, so much property management, my phone's ringing. So yes, let's continue. His whole strategy is to develop properties to pass on to people. Now, what else was spoken about? They spoke about some of the regulations that are going to be happening. Some of the, for example, with the Renters Reform Bill coming in, a lot of the notices are going to change. Like, there's not going to be 2 month notices, it's going to be 4 months. And then they talk about this in a specific support living dependent way. I spoke to a lot of people. I met 1 or 2 people, I think 1 person, doing kind of what I do, the middleman connecting. Again, they're not big fans of us middlemen connecting people, collecting fees, but, the industry needs us. That's why we're here. So providers were, everyone needs property, everyone has property. Of course, the long game of developing properties or buying properties for someone's sake is always great, but a middleman is always going to be the best because we're finding what's live right now and meeting those needs. Now, to go to the last event, again, this event was the more specialized, more niche, so it was a smaller room, although it was very well fit. I've been a speaker at this event, so I spoke, I've attended it, and this was in attendance. And yeah, it was good. Again, specialized. I had to go in and out because I had a videographer there, so I had to meet with him. But, it's overly good. The thing is with this is when it's a training event specifically, as opposed to like what the middle one does well, it's a network. You have to be part of a network. And I think a lot of people are already part of that network historically. So a lot of people are embedded. When it's training, it's a lot of beginners. But what's always going to be good about beginners, medium and intermediates, you're going to see different parts of the journey. People are just looking to get in, and they might eventually get in. You might be able to do business with them. You see people are in and they've got problems to solve. Someone who's just got a property, he's got planning with it, he's not sure if he wants to run it or if he wants to rent it out to a provider. I might be of value there. I might be able to support him and get a provider. Someone who's got a property, I'm going to have to run, that's a 60-second notice. Someone who's got a property and they're not sure if they want to get planned on it, that's something I can support with. So that's it. Let's keep it short, under 10 minutes. Events are very good. I'm having an event. I'm going to have another event, my annual event, October 10th, 10 out of 10. So come to that. My event is going to be a training event. If you want to learn how to get into property, how to close deals. Again, I spent £1,000 on the events, but it's only because in the last month before I made about just under £20,000 from this industry. So I'm investing that back to get to know the people in the industry. So if you want to be the same, make your first £1,000, maybe spend £100 on an event, learn how to make your first 1,000. It's going to be October 10th. There should be a link in the bio. Click that and I'll see you at the event. See you. Ace, gotta go.